Have you ever felt like you're living in a world that wasn't designed for the way your mind works? If you're a Sigma, you probably experience this on a daily basis. It might look like nothing can bother you from the outside, but it comes with hidden frustrations that most people don't see. While others might envy the confidence in detachment, they miss the daily struggles, like overthinking everything or dealing with people who just don't get it. Here are five harsh realities that every Sigma male faces, even if they never complain about them. Number one, the frustration of being the only one who sees the obvious solution. Have you ever wanted to scream? It's so simple. While everyone around you makes things more complicated than they need to be, as they're all running in circles trying to solve a problem, you've already spotted the clear solution. But here's the catch. Pointing it out often makes things worse, not better. You see it everywhere in meetings, where people spend hours discussing an issue with a simple fix in friend groups, where drama could be avoided with one logical decision, even in everyday situations, where others complicate things that could be solved in minutes. What most people don't realize about Sigma males is that their brains process information differently. While others get caught up in emotions and social dynamics, these men have an almost instinctive ability to strip problems down to their core. It's not that they're trying to be different, their minds naturally filter out the noise that clouds other people's judgment. When you do try to explain the solution, people look at you like you've said something strange. You get those blank stares or confused looks that make you wonder, am I weird? Or am I really the only one who sees how simple this is? Moments like these remind you how differently your mind works from most people's. After enough of these reactions, you start keeping these insights to yourself. People seem more comfortable with their complicated approaches than with simple solutions that make too much sense. That's why Sigma males end up keeping quiet. Most of the time, they've learned that people often need to figure things out themselves, even if it means watching them take the long, hard road. When they do speak up, they have to carefully package their solutions. So, it doesn't seem too simple or direct. The worst part is when people finally reach the same conclusion you saw from the start, and they act like it's some groundbreaking discovery. You just sit there thinking about all the time and energy that could have been saved. This isn't about being smarter than others. It's about seeing things differently, more directly, a common trait of the Sigma personality. While others get tangled in complications, your mind naturally cuts through the noise and finds simplicity. While it's a great skill to have, it can also be frustrating when others don't see things the same way. It's like living in a world where everyone speaks a different language, and you're the only one who understands. Number two, being called cold when you're actually feeling too much. If you're a Sigma, you know how often people mistake your calm exterior for a lack of emotion. They see someone who doesn't react dramatically to situations and assume you don't care. But you're feeling everything, probably more intensely than most. You just process it differently. It's a strange situation to be in, while others wear their emotions on their sleeve, getting visibly upset or excited about every little thing. You're quietly processing each feeling, analyzing its cause and effect. Your mind breaks down emotional responses the same way it handles any other problem methodically and internally. What makes this quite frustrating is how Sigma males experience emotions. Their heightened awareness often means they feel things more deeply than others, picking up on subtle undertones and implications that most people miss. But they've learned early on that showing these feelings rarely leads to understanding. You've probably heard it before. Why are you so cold? Or don't you care at all? Meanwhile, your mind is racing with thoughts, feelings, and observations about the situation. You care deeply, but expressing it the way others expect feels unnatural, even fake. This creates an interesting paradox in relationships. The more intensely you feel about something or someone, the calmer you might appear on the outside. It's not about hiding emotions, it's about processing them in a way that makes sense to you, away from the chaos of external reactions. For Sigma males, emotional processing happens beneath the surface, like deep ocean occurrence under a calm sea, while others might need to express every feeling immediately. These men prefer to understand their emotions fully before expressing them, if at all. The real irony is that the people who call you cold are often the ones who'd be overwhelmed if they could experience the depth of what you're actually feeling. But explaining this gets exhausting. After a while, you stop trying to convince people that you do care deeply. It becomes another one of those things you learn to live with, even though it never stops being frustrating when someone mistakes your calm exterior for coldness. Number three, knowing you're right, but choosing to stay quiet. Have you ever had to bite your tongue when someone confidently shares completely wrong information? Your mind is screaming with the correct facts, but your mouth stays shut, not because you're shy or uncertain, but because you've learned that correcting people rarely ends well. Maybe it's a friend group discussing a topic, you know, well, throwing around misunderstood statistics, or colleagues debating a subject they clearly don't understand. You could easily set the record straight, but you hold back. Why? Because experience has shown you that people usually don't appreciate being corrected, especially when it challenges the group's consensus. You spot the mistakes, the logical gaps, the misinformation, but you know that speaking up often just puts a target on your back. This is something most people don't understand about Sigma males. It's not that they enjoy watching others be wrong. Quite the opposite. They've simply come to realize that most people are more attached to their beliefs than to facts, and challenging these beliefs often backfires. You've seen it happen countless times. The moment you point out a factual error, people become defensive. Sudden you're the know-it-all, or the one who's always arguing with others. You can almost see the walls go up, shutting down any further discussion. Even when you present evidence, they dig their heels in deeper. The conversation stops being about facts and becomes about emotions. The hardest part isn't staying quiet, it's dealing with the inner conflict. Your integrity wants you to speak up, to correct the misconceptions, to prevent potential mistakes. But your experience tells you that silence is often the wiser choice for Sigma males. This creates a constant internal struggle. They value truth and accuracy highly, yet often have to watch in silence as misinformation spreads. It's like having an itch. You can't scratch a song, you can't sing a truth, you can't share. Sometimes this self imposed silence feels like a betrayal of your principles, but you've learned that picking your battles isn't the same as giving up. It's about understanding that not every wrong needs to be righted by you. Number five, finding most people's logic completely baffling. Do you ever watch people make decisions and wonder what's going on in their heads? Not in a judgmental way. You're really confused about how they reach their conclusions. While they seem confident in their choices, you're left scratching your head at the complete lack of logical reasoning. It's like watching someone solve a math problem by throwing darts at numbers. You see people making life changing decisions based on feelings following trends without questioning why or blindly accepting things that have no logical basis. The strange part is how confident they seem while doing it, while most people seem perfectly fine. To accept things at face value, Sigma males can't help but question everything. Their minds are wired to think deeply and analyze situations from all angles. They crave a logical explanation for everything, and when they can't find one, it's baffling. How can people be so sure about something that doesn't make sense? This difference in thinking patterns is one of the main reasons Sigma males often feel like outsiders. They see the world through a lens of reason and logic. While most people operate on emotions and social expectations, you've probably sat through countless conversations where people defend choices that make absolutely no sense to you. Maybe it's a friend staying in a clearly toxic relationship because we've been together so long, or someone refusing a great job opportunity because it doesn't feel right. Their reasoning often goes in circles or seems out of touch with reality. What makes it even more frustrating is that you can't point out the logical flaws without coming across as cold or insensitive. People often mistake logical analysis for criticism, as if questioning their reasoning means attacking their character. It creates a strange kind of isolation when you can't relate to how most people think. You find yourself keeping your logical assessments to yourself, watching as others navigate life in ways that seem completely irrational to you. The hardest part is accepting that not everyone approaches life with the same logical framework you do. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that different doesn't necessarily mean wrong, even when it makes absolutely no sense to you.